Hey everybody, this is Bob with ChristianPF.com, and I wanted to talk a little bit about selling on eBay. I get quite a few questions about this, and so I figured I'd make a little screencast about it. So for new eBayers, the first thing you want to do is head on over to eBay.com, click on Register, and this is going to take you through a basic registration process. Nothing unique really from any other website. Real simple. You don't have to pay anything to sign up. Once you're signed up, then you can buy and sell on eBay and you're good to go. Next thing I recommend for new eBay sellers is to actually buy a few items and get their feedback score built up. And the reason being is that eBay is such a feedback-based community that it really helps if you have a little bit of feedback built up. So for instance, this guy right here only has 3 different transactions and has a 100% rating, but only over 3 transactions. I would feel much more comfortable buying from someone who has 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 different transactions with a really good rating. And most eBayers actually do have that. But this is a whole lot better than 0 right here. So I recommend definitely buying some things and getting some feedback. That'll help. As a seller, it will make buyers feel a little bit more comfortable buying from you. And when you're trying to decide what items to sell, shoot for the brand name items you have. Kind of no-name brands or brands that people don't really care about are a bit more difficult to sell. So for instance, if I have some kind of off-brand dress shirts and some Banana Republic dress shirts, it's the Banana ones that are going to sell. And just from my experience, if you have a brand name and you can sell it that way, or if it's really unique in some way. So I had these black fake leather dress pants that I sold, they were some lame brand, but a lot of people were typing in black leather dress pants. So those were easy to sell. So that's kind of the exception, but typically just go after brand names. Those tend to work the best. And when you're selling them, make sure, this is one of the things I see a lot of people mess up on, make sure you take a bunch of pictures and make sure they're good pictures. Have a lot of lighting in the room when you're taking them. Make sure they're not blurry. Use the best camera you can find and take a bunch of them. And if you use a service like Auctiva, AUCTIVA.com, you can host all these pictures on their website, I think up to 16 or 20 or something, and they only charge like $2 a month. So you can sell all your stuff, and sign up for them for a month and then cancel. It'll only cost you a couple bucks. And when you're listing the items, I like to batch it and do it all at once. And I try to do it in the evening, maybe 6 to 9 Central Standard Time. That's where I am. And the reason I do that is because you want people to be at home when those auctions end. So if you're up at 3 in the morning listing your items, unless you schedule it, it's going to end at 3 in the morning and people are going to be asleep and they're probably not going to be staying up to bid on your item unless it's that great. So just make sure you're paying attention to when you're starting these auctions, because by default they will end then unless you schedule them. Let's see, what else? This is another big one. A lot of new eBayers don't check their messages, and buyers will ask you questions about your items that you list. So for instance, my wife will list clothes, and it's really funny with women's clothes, but people will ask her all kinds of questions, asking about how many inches it is from this spot to this spot, and and what color, what shade of Tiffany blue is that, and all these different questions that I can't really answer, but that she knows the answers to. But it is good to answer those questions, because if people are asking them, then they are interested buyers or potential buyers. So do make sure you check your messages and answer those questions. When you're shipping your items, this is another important one. I like to use U.S. Postal Service. They're the cheapest, and they do a pretty good job. I haven't had any problems with them. But just make sure you package your item well. Make sure you wrap it up really well. And get it out to the people as soon as you can. There's nothing worse than having to wait around for your item. So, those are the basic things that I go by. I have quite a bit more, actually. This URL right here, if you go here, I wrote a pretty big long post about it. So if you check that out, I have a few more details about how I do everything on eBay. So that's all I have for now. So take care.